and on ZingoTV on Chromecast and all smart TVs 2016 forward. Please remember to download both the Barn Burner and ZingoTV apps in their respective app stores. Both are free on both iOS and Android devices. While you are using, please remember to rate and leave a comment so we know that you're enjoying them and getting the most out of your usage. So on this episode of the OHL Experience, well, this is the last edition for a little bit for the year of the World Juniors Experience, because last we left off, we were headed into the semifinals, and the semifinals happened. The finals took place. The bronze medal game took place, and a lot of the results I think were definitely not what many expected. I had ranked some stuff myself, and certainly didn't appear that way. So let's get into it, because it was ugly, and things happen. So without further ado, let's start with Canada versus the Czech Republic. Now, that was the semifinal game that took place a couple nights ago. So if we start with that one, Canada won 3-0, and that was quarterfinal action heading into the semifinal. And so let's take a look at how these numbers compared en route to the win. So that all to be said, I'm just going to check and make sure that everything is in place. So, let's get right into the quarterfinals. Then we'll get into the semifinals and the victory. All right. That said, all right, quarterfinals. Devin Levi was the goaltender again, as you would certainly expect, just because Andre Tourigny has certainly favored him throughout this tournament. A 19-year-old from Dollard-des-Armeaux, Quebec, and he is certainly impressed. So with that being said, he turned aside 29 shots, and that recorded his second shutout and fifth win of the tournament. And then the game-winning goal was Dylan Cousins, who recorded that in the first period, while also adding an assist. Now, Connor McMichael from the London Knights of the OHL had a goal and an assist in that game. And then Bolton Byram scored the other goal. Now, Peyton Krebs from the WHL chipped in with a pair of assists. Meanwhile, the Czech Republic outshot Canada 29-24, despite the fact that Canada was able to pull away with a 3-0 victory. So, full game recap again, more details at hockeycanada.ca. But let's get into the quotes, and then I'll get into more games. So, we start with head coach Andre Tourigny. Now, he said, "I was really happy about the team staying out of the penalty box. We talk a lot about that, and it's really important. In this tournament, you play against really good opponents, and you cannot give them chances to get their best player going, to start playing with confidence and zip the puck around. You want to keep the other team in check as much as possible, and the best penalty killing is not to take penalties. Tonight, we did exactly that." Now, Peyton Krebs followed that talking, in which he said, "It was a great game. We played a hard 60 minutes, and it starts with our leaders. Dylan Cousins set the tone. He plays hard every shift, and the rest of the guys follow that. We were just trying to play a consistent 60 minutes. The Czech played a great game, and it was a lot of fun. It was a playoff hockey type of game, and we answered well." So, following that, Devin Levi spoke about facing a lot of shots in the first period and playing into the semifinals. So speaking of those semifinals, he said, "It was super fun to be busy in the first period because it really keeps you in the game. It was a different type of game tonight, and the past few games were a bit harder to stay focused. I found in this game it was easy to have fun and just go out and play. I think we're getting better as a team every day, and I am excited to see how we are going to play in the semifinals." So, en route to the semifinals, that is what we're going to touch on right now, because obviously they made the semifinals. So this is a really talented team, to say the very least, and so the semifinals became a very I think heated competition. So that was against Russia after the quarterfinals came to an end. So that was, obviously, I think really shocking as well, in a different kind of sense. So we're going to get right into that now. And so that was Canada versus Russia, as I just check my notes to make sure everything is on par. So that being said, Canada and Russia did face off for the semifinals. Alex Newhook opened the game with a goal. It was his first goal of the tournament, and on his first shift back after having been injured. So certainly something to stand out about. And I think that was surely impressive to see. So that being said, we are going to continue down this road. That was a 5-0 semifinal win for Team Canada. Anyways, So again, lots stood out along the way. So I am going to get quotes from that game. If you just give me a second to go ahead and do that. The semifinal game, again, certainly entertaining. I mean, Canada's been entertaining the entire way through this. And, it's the kind of hockey you would expect them to play, whereas they were able to shut out all their opponents, and, they looked like a strong team. And so, it's the thing about this team is they have so much offensive power, and that's what you're getting it in a team with 20 first round draft picks. So, as of the roster is 25 players. So when more than half your volume is that, I mean, look, you're going to be unstoppable, and that's just quite frankly the truth. So, that being said, again, with the 5-0 win, that really spoke volumes about what this team has the ability to do. That's, I mean, it was remarkable, really. So, all that. Obviously, the recaps can be found at hockeycanada.ca and sportingnews.ca, which is where I'm grabbing my quotes from today for this game. So, that being said, let's get right into it. Again, Devin Levi was exceptional into the gold medal round. Again, to face Team USA. So that being said, we delve right into this one. Again, Alex Newhook, someone who hasn't really looked so strong on this tournament, but he came out when the team needed him to, setting the tone for the game, especially given the fact that he was injured. So talking about his return and doing so in the way he did, Newhook said after the game, "It was great to get off to a great start there. Our whole team came out flying. To get one on the first shift, I think it's always great to get one then and get some energy right off the bat for the guys. I think we carried that through the whole game, so great effort." Now, again, the Canadians didn't stop there as they controlled puck possession, tore apart 2020 first rounder Yaroslav Askarov, who had trouble holding onto his stick for much of the game, never mind the first period, and didn't let the Russians get much offensive zone pressure. So by the end of the opening frame, Team Canada held a 3-0 lead as their final score was in the quarterfinals against the Czech Republic. So that being said, Connor McMichael spoke after the game, and he was asked if he was worried about his empty net goal, about the Czech Republic, that he might need to change his puck luck. Anyways, to that he said, "I hope so. I'm not too worried. I'm getting chances. That's the main thing. They'll eventually start going in. Hopefully that starts tomorrow. Again, the gold medal game." So again, we are going to go through more than just Team Canada. We are going to diligently get towards the gold medal game throughout the next little bit. But continuing on with this article, Braden Schneider and Dylan Cousins both added goals in the second and third periods, respectively. For now, Cousins has retaken the tournament points lead at 16 with his goal and 2 assists. The United States' Trevor Zegras was at 15 as of the time of writing. He's playing in Monday's semifinal against Finland, and again, I'll tell you how that one ended afterwards. He had a chance for another goal, but was stopped by Askarov's toe on a penalty shot. Cousins also is tied with Ryan Ellis for 5th on Canada's all-time World Juniors point list with 25. By the way, Ellis is now a Predators defenseman, and he played in all 3 World Juniors that he was eligible to do so. And Philip Tomasino was living with him over the summer, just as a precursor memory, as I've mentioned that earlier on. And that's also in my story on Tomasino at thepuckauthority.com and barnburner.ca. So that to be said, let's continue on. While the goals were nice, the biggest story out of this game was once again the performance of netminder Devin Levi, who showcased his calmness, pinpoint positioning, and expert puck tracking as he has this entire tournament all the way through. He turned aside all 28 shots against Russia, this being his 3rd shutout, and with that, he tied a record for the second Canadian goalie to do that, joining Justin Pogé, who did it back in 2006. So, along with that, he also got Gatorade player performer of the game. And so Levi said that, obviously while something like that is a really nice feat, that all he is focused on winning. So it's not the record books that matter to him all that much, as obviously as much as the rest of it falls in place too. So to that he said, "I'm not playing for a shutout record, I'm playing for a gold medal. I'm looking for tomorrow, and it's something maybe to look at after the tournament, but the job's not done yet." Levi has just allowed 3 goals since Boxing Day. all on the power play, and has a 0.53 goals against average, besting so far the likes of Poge, again, who had 1.00 GAA, and some guy named Carey Price and Steve Mason, of whom had 1.14 and 1.19 respectively. So, Levi wasn't even. I think here's what stands out is the fact that he wasn't even invited to summer camp. And again, when you look back at selection camp, the NCAA kids, again, including New Hook, Holloway, and Levi, they only had a couple days of main group action, given the NCAA quarantine period in which the three of them could only skate alone, and then B, the fact that the whole team went into a full lockdown of quarantine for 2 weeks shortly afterwards. And so Levi had one start, 31 saves, and that really set the tone for what he could do and what he has done at this tournament. So anyways, Andre Torini said, I don't know what to say. I look like I repeat myself every day. He's really assertive. He's really quick. He's aggressive. He's focused. He's radiating confidence for us. He is so assertive. We're glad to have him on our side. Now, Monday's contest was the 28th meeting at the World Juniors between Canada and Russia in the last 28 years since the Soviet Union dissolved. Canada now holds a 15-21-1 edge in those games. Its overall advantage is 21-19-2 when taking into account the Soviet Union years. The last time any country won back-to-back golds was the Canadians, who did just that from 2005 to 2009. Last year's gold was the country's 18th title, and everyone will be tuned in on Tuesday night when they square off against the Americans at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, this is at the time of writing, and that game was on TSN and NHL Network just like the rest. Anyways, Devin Levi concluded, for me, the best feeling is being able to represent my country and being able to go out and play the game I love, to be able to hopefully make some Canadians proud. We're playing for the whole country, and that's what really drives me. Anyways, New Hook concluded himself, it's definitely special. It's not really that, pressure's so much on us when we have Canadians watching us. I think we have all Canadians behind us, and it's cool to feel that and to bring into this tournament and bring it into a championship game tomorrow. So all your coverage at hockeycanada.ca and on Twitter and at thepuckauthority.com. Apologies. Anyways, that being said, Canada clinched a spot in the gold medal game, and they had a chance to go for back-to-back golds, as the last time they did so was in the Czech Republic, more specifically Ostrava Arena, where Akil Thomas had the gold medal winner last winter. Now, since 1977, Canada has only lost one final game in 9 of 27 championships. So the fact that this was probably the best Canadian team put together in years, then you keep in mind the history, yeah. So that needs no further speech. So, you see how impressive that is, and that speaks huge volumes. So that being said, let's move along because we've got a lot more to get into. We've done the quarterfinals, we've done the semifinals, but what we haven't done is the US and Finland. So that being said, something that stands out immediately, given that this is the OHL experience, is that OHLer from Hamilton, Arthur Kaliev, put in the gold medal goal that got them, or the game-winning goal that got them the victory to go into the gold medal game against Team Canada. So that was with 1:16 remaining in the final period. So assists on that goal was from Jake Sanderson in a 4-3 victory on Monday. I will read you the story. This one from the Canadian Press, La Presse Canadienne. So the United States will play for gold at the World Junior Hockey Championship after beating Finland 4-3 on Monday in the tournament semifinals. Arthur Kaliev broke a 3-3 deadlock with 1:16 to go with a snapshot from the slot to advance the Americans into the gold medal game against Canada. Alex Turcotte, John Farinacci, and Matthew Boldy also scored for the Americans, who have won gold 4 previous times, including their last one in 2017. Kasper Samantaival had a pair of goals, and Ronnie Hervonen also found the back of the net for Finland, who will face Russia for bronze. I will get into that game as well. Now, Spencer Knight, one of 8 returning players for the U.S., again, a team that finished 6th last year following a quarterfinal loss to Team Finland, was right back in this position this time around. He stopped 33 of 36 shots he faced, carried prone, and made 21 saves for the Finns. Canada last year's gold medal winner blanked 2020 silver medalist from Russia 5-0, as mentioned already in their semifinal game. Both medal games go Tuesday at Rogers Place, as they did. Turcotte held off a Finnish defender to swipe home a bouncing puck from the top of the crease to open the scoring at 12:39 of the first period. The Finns responded quickly on the power play, with Simon Tyvel finishing off a a one-touch pass from Casper Pudio on a set play at 14:06 to even the score. Spencer Knight stopped 18 of 19 shots through 40 minutes and was rewarded by his teammates when the U.S. struck twice in a 107 span of the second period to take a 2-goal lead into the third frame. Now, Jackson Lacombe caught Finland making a change and sprung Farinacci on the breakaway with a slick pass up the middle from his own zone, with the American forward sniping the puck past Peronin at 15:53 of the second. Farinacci has been one of the strongest players for the U.S. Aside from Arthur Kaliev, Cole Caulfield, Trevor Zegras, and one might even want to say Matthew Boldy, who has stepped up most recently en route to the final days of the tournament. That said, while on the man advantage, Boldy tipped in a perfect snap pass from Trevor Zegras at the side of the net. That made it 3-1 with 3 minutes left in the frame. Zegras' assist gave him 16 points in 6 games and tied him with Jeremy Roenick, a former NHLer from 1989, for the second highest single tournament point total in American history. Doug Waite, former New York Islanders head coach, set the record with 19 points in 1991. Simon Tyvel brought Finland back within 1 midway through the third period when he took a pass on his forehand in the slot and snapped it glove side on Knight. And Hervonen supplied the game-time goal off a rebound in front of a power play with 3:43 remaining. The rest of the way was Arthur Kaliev, and, as they say, the rest is history. So that set the tone there for that semifinal. Again, Team USA pulling away with a 4-3 victory. So now let's get into the bronze medal game because that's what matters. And then after that, we will get into the gold medal game because, why wouldn't you? That's how I see it. So, that was one heck of a game to watch. And there's going to be all sorts of insights I can provide for that. So let's do the bronze medal game first. So this story from the Canadian Press and Sportsnet.ca: Finland tops Russia to win bronze at the 2021 World Junior Championship. Captain Anton Lundell had a pair of goals, and Finland held on to beat Russia 4-1 and claim bronze in the World Junior Hockey Championship on Tuesday. Mikko Pettman and Juuso Parssinen also scored for Finland. Meanwhile, Kari Peronin made 29 saves. Ilya Safonov found the back of the net for Russia. Yaroslav Askarov stopped 28 of 30 shots he faced. It's just the second time in 11 tournaments that Russia, which last won gold in 2011 and grabbed silver last year, will finish at the podium. So, that said, Finland lost the bronze medal game against Sweden last year following its 2019 gold medal performance. Later, the Canadians played the United States for gold, which they did. Canada is attempting to repeat as tournament champions. The American placed 6th back in 2020 in Ostrava, Czech Republic. Safonov tucked in a rebound at 6:03 into the game, and that opened the scoring for Russia. Then Anton Lundell deflected a point from the top of the crease, 5:05 into the second, and that tied the game. Another tipped goal, this time twice, and eventually credited to Pettman, gave Finland its first lead of the contest less than 2 minutes into the third period. That really paved the way, as Russian captain Vasily Podkolzin took a 4-minute penalty for cutting finished forward Matthias Mantikivi with a high stick with 6:45 remaining in the game, and that could have been a dagger. Now, Russia killed off the extended finish power play and pushed for the tie, but Lundell and Parson, however, secured the victory with empty net goals, and that led them en route to the gold medal, the bronze medal win. So, again, we've learned a lot from this tournament and how everything worked out. Now there is going to be some analysis from other writers, but before I get into that analysis from other writers, I do want to get into Canada versus USA. Again, Finland beating Russia for the bronze medal 4-1. And again, Finland has been my underdog team, and so I will get into the standings afterwards so you have an idea of kind of how that one finished. But nonetheless, really exciting couple days of hockey that we've seen. And, Canada, there's been a little bit of I think I'm going to use the word a little bit of a battle online throughout this tournament, only given that, Canada has outperformed so much that some people have said that it was no longer even fun to watch. Now, there's two ways you can see that. Some people think the opposite, and that all that high scoring while running the clock like that is a little, ridiculous. But at the same time, I think it was it was also a lot of fun. Yeah, it's not competitive hockey. It's just, blowout hockey. And truthfully, the entire tournament, we've seen blowouts from Canada from 16-2 to 10-0, just as a couple of their scores that helped them en route to this gold medal game. So, that being said, let's get into the gold medal final. Again, lots to go through, lots to consider. Again, these games were live on TSN and NHL Network. Now, the Canadian press has the story. So, Team Canada was the steamrolling bully boy juggernaut of the World Junior Hockey Championship until they ran into a pugnacious U.S. team Tuesday that knocked them out 2-0 to win gold. The U.S. players poured over the bench as the buzzer sounded, tossing sticks and gloves aloft in an empty Rogers Place. The tournament was played with no fans in the stands to prevent the spread of COVID-19. They linked up and swayed with delight on the blue line, lustily singing their anthem as the American flag rose to the rafters as the Canadians, many with their heads down, leaned on their sticks and contemplated what might have been. For their celebratory center ice photo, they included a blue barrel emblazoned with the Hockey Canada logo. The barrel, they said, represented their mindset, never looking past the next barrel or marker on their way to gold. Canadian captain Bowen Byram had tears in his eyes as he handed out silver medals to his teammates, something that was an absolute heartbreaking scene for me to even bear witness to, just given that, the entire way through, Canada had a perfect tournament, and Bowen, as one of the captains, he was a leader, and this will be his last tournament. So, absolutely heartbreaking thing. But with class, he gave out the silver medals alongside director of national teams, that being Scott Salmond, with CEO Tom Rennie watching over. It's the first gold medal for the Americans since they won it back in 2017. U.S. winger Trevor Zegras led the way, scoring a goal and adding an assist. He was named tournament MVP. American goaltender Spencer Knight, a 2019 top pick by the Florida Panthers, turned aside 34 shots for his third shutout of the tournament, tying the record set by Canada's Devin Levi this year and by Justin Pogge in 2006. Now, Canada took home the silver medal. Finland defeated Russia 4-1 earlier Tuesday, again winning bronze. Now, in a statement from Trevor Zegras, he said, "I think we surprised them in the first two periods with how well we played below their hash marks. You could tell they hadn't seen that kind of ground game from any other team in the tournament. We got a couple of quick goals early in those periods, and from there, we just kind of put it on shutdown mode and played great defense. One of those goals was from Alex Turcotte and the other from Trevor Zegras." Now, Zegras was obviously a huge concern for Team Canada heading into this tournament, known as a monster by many for his incredible performance later in the latter part of the tournament, I should say. Meanwhile, other players he picked up included, again, Matthew Boldy, John Farinacci, and Alex Turcotte. So, that being said, Zegras' 2019 first-round draft pick of the Anaheim Ducks was the top scorer of the tournament in the end with 7 goals and 11 assists. Alex Turcotte also scored for the U.S. Knight was spectacular at times. At other times, he was not, particularly when the Canadians stormed and buzzed the net late in the second period and came in waves in the third. Knight stoned Connor McMichael on a breakaway with 3 minutes left in the game, prompting the Canadians to slam his stick on the glass in frustration. Devin Levi made 19 saves in the loss. So that is something I will grab quotes from just after we're done here. However, Levi, again, this is a tournament he came into a flying colors. He played at the top of his game. He didn't let the pressure get to him. He worked with the mental performance coach. He deleted his social medias off his phone. He did everything right. And so it's heartbreaking to see a perfect team that has not lost a game yet in this tournament only fall to the U.S. in the gold medal game. So, anyways, that to be said, Canadian forward Dylan Cousins tied with Zegras in tournament scoring heading into the final, finished as Canada's top point getter with 8 goals and 8 assists. Asked postgame how he felt, Cousins said, "Terrible. We lost the gold medal game. We feel horrible. It sucks." Byram added after he was able to wipe away a couple tears and have a little bit of a conversation. He said, "We didn't have the start we wanted. They got up on us and we just couldn't buy a couple of goals there. We're still very proud of our group and how we played throughout the tournament." The U.S. lost its tournament opener 5-3 to Russia before running the table, outscoring opponents 36-10. Canada had been absolutely dominant, going undefeated and outscoring opponents 41-4 heading into the gold medal match. Cousins was asked if the team did not face enough adversity early in the tournament and wasn't ready when the Americans tested them. Our group faced lots of adversity, Cousins said. With the COVID testing we had in camp, we had to quarantine for 14 days. Obviously, we played great through all the games, and then we ran into a team like this. They were good. And some would say this was the first, real legit game they played. But the argument I'll make is that when they faced Slovakia, they won 3-1, another close contest. So, sure, Slovakia was nowhere near as good as the U.S. in a sense, but at the same time, this was the first real competition in which Canada really had to up their game and feel like they had to, push back and make it all happen, especially because, in the end, offensively they didn't. So that being said, Dylan Cousins, Bowen Byram, and Devin Levi were named to the World Juniors All-Star team. Devin Levi was also named the best goaltender of the tournament, which I think speaks certain levels, especially because Spencer Knight was good, but he wasn't that good. And then the Kari Peronin, I think it would go third in my mind for best goaltender. So that being said, the World Junior All-Star team consists of Zegras, Cousins, and Stutzel, along with Ville Heinola, Bowen Byram, and Devin Levi. Now, the World Junior Tournament awards, and for best forward of the tournament was Tim Stützle, and the best defenseman was Topi Niemela from Team Finland. Meanwhile, the best goaltender, again, Devin Levi. Now, the players battled to a continuous hum of a canned crowd noise throughout the game, including oohs and ahs on hard shots and great saves. Rogers Place, home to the Edmonton Oilers, was otherwise empty except for hockey officials, media, rink, and support staff. The game featured 2 Florida draft picks in net, Levi, a 7th-round pick in 2020, along with Spencer Knight. The U.S. forechecked ferociously in the first period, outshot Canada 13-9, and opened the scoring at 13:25 when Turcotte deflected a Drew Helleson point shot up and over Levi's glove. To that point, Canada had never trailed in the tournament. So again, when I mentioned the fact that they had a perfect tournament only to fall like this, it really stings because this is just not something you expect. So the U.S., again, they took their 2-0 lead just 32 seconds into the second, but it was really all they needed as Arthur Kaliev stepped up again as he fired the puck past the net. Zegras grabbed the puck off the end boards and tucked it in on the short side, while Levi, expecting the puck to come out on the other side, was moving in the opposite direction to cover the far post. The Americans held off Canada in the third, and that is what preserved them the gold medal victory. So that being said, 3 stars go to Knight, Zegras, and I believe to Boldy, the other one. Again, it's just a heartbreaking thing. But, let's get into the 3 stars of the tournament. So the 3rd star goes to Anton Lundell. After Russia's early dominance, Finland was going to need its stars to step up if they were going to come away with the bronze medal. Finland dug in deep after Russia made it 1-0 in the first period and refused to let Russia run over them. They bounced back in the second period, and it was their captain, again, Lundell, who got the Finns on the board with the tying goal. So, that was in the second period with about 15 to play in the second. From there, Russia seemed to have no answer for Finland's pace and attack and struggled to get anything going offensively. When Mikko Petman scored the go-ahead goal for Finland, it seemed as though Russia wouldn't be able to come back. It didn't help matters when Russian captain Vasily Podkolzin took a 4-minute double minor late in the third period, as it was mentioned in the recap story for them, with his team still down by only 1 goal. Lundell hit the empty net with about 2 minutes left, scoring his second goal of the game, and that gave Finland some breathing room. Finland, who wasn't expecting to be as competitive against Canada, the United States, and Russia this year, found a way to win Tuesday, and Lundell was a huge reason for that. Not only did Finland redeem itself from a disappointing 4th-place finish in 2020, but Lundell was able to play this year after missing last year's tournament with an injury and led his team to a medal finish. Now, the 2nd star was Trevor Zegras of the United States. Prior to the gold medal game, Trevor Zegras made a bold statement that Canada hadn't been tested at 5-5 yet at this tournament. He was right. Canada entered the gold medal game without having allowed a single goal at 5-5 on the tournament. So the United States did what no other team could, and they scored against Canada at even strength. And that is really kind of part of what separated them en route to, again, the victory over for the gold medal. So Zegras backed up his words and capped off one of the most impressive single tournament performances ever with a goal and an assist to lift the United States en route to the gold medal. The Americans smothered Canada on all fronts in this game. They were dominant in the first period, and Canada simply did not have an answer for their offense. Zegras finished the tournament with 18 points, just 1 shy of Doug Wade's single tournament record for Americans, and was named the tournament MVP. Now, Spencer Knight, who somehow got the first star. I mean, yes, he did lead his team in the end to gold medal, but Devin Levi was absolutely terrific. So, it kind of stings to see that at the same time. So, anyways, when the United States needed him, Spencer Knight came through big time with the performance of his life in this 2-0 shutout over Canada. After his teammates did the work to get on the score sheet and open that lead, all the Florida Panthers 2019 first rounder had to do was shut the door the rest of the way, and he accomplished just that. Although there were several moments where Knight was scrambling around in the crease and needed to be bailed out by the post, he was rock solid when it mattered, and Canada could not solve him to save their lives. Even as Connor McMichael came charging down on the ice on a breakaway with about 3 minutes remaining, Knight maintained his composure. He made the save and kept US in the game. Knight's 33-save shutout was also the first by an American in a medal round game at the World Juniors. It could not have come at a better time. Knight, who faced questions about whether he should be the starting goaltender this year after USA lost to Russia, silenced his doubters with one of the best performances of his career in the gold medal game. It was the fourth consecutive time the United States have beaten Canada in this gold medal round, and it was a well-deserved win for a group of Americans who exited this tournament early last year. So this was certainly revenge of sorts, and we're seeing that success. So sure, it stings, but Canada, they had one of the best teams, and they're only going to come back stronger next year as a result of this. So that being said, let's get into some game summary stuff now. Now, I made my final rankings for the tournament way at the beginning, just because I kind of saw how this tournament was going to go, and so here's how I kind of put my summary. Actually, looks like I might have deleted my summary. All right. Well, I'll give you Stephen Ellis' summary of the final results then. USA 1, Canada 2, Finland 3, Russia 4, Sweden 5, Germany 6, Czech Republic 7, Slovakia 8, Switzerland 9, and then a very obvious 10 at Austria. So, again, this is something we have never seen before, again, given the COVID-19 times, but, I mean, what can you say? It was a fantastic tournament. USA Hockey was an excellent competitor. Kudos to Team Canada for all their hard work and dedication, being in the bubble much longer than any other team in this tournament. What can you say? I think that really leaves it there. More insight from Stephen Ellis, someone who we spoke with on the Puck Authority podcast. He was terrific. So you can continue to hear from him there on Twitter and on our website. So anyways, there's more insight from Ken Campbell from the Hockey News as well. I mean, for the next couple of days, there's going to be a lot of insight. This is a tournament that nobody saw happening this way. And it just goes to show the strength that is hidden behind closed doors, per se. So anyways, there was a lot of question again about Quinton Byfield, but I think those doubters were mainly silenced, and Quinton Byfield has been addressed this morning since. There is a story from Stephen Ellis that he wrote last night saying the 2021 World Junior Championship was one like no other. So do make sure to watch that or read that, because it really gives you great perspective on a time in which it doesn't really matter who won the gold, and the fact that Canada didn't win it only because for 2 weeks the World Juniors helped us to find some solace and joy in a time where that's hard to come by. And I think that Stephen put that wording perfectly. So he took a full look back on his own website at a tournament like none other, and truly it really was like none other, nothing we've ever seen before. So ton of credit there. And in the end, I mean, it just comes down to who played the better game, and the US came out strong. So let's get into some quotes now, because there was some clarity to be done, especially with the whole barrel situation for Team USA. So Nate Lehman, head coach of that squad, said after the game, the barrel story dates back to him as an assistant coach in 2007. Something about crossing the Sahara Desert by placing barrels one at a time across the sand. Apparently, it was a Ron Rolston story. I'm not lying. They took selfies at the barrel after every win. So this was kind of an attribution to that. So yes, they posed with the garbage can after the game with the championship banner. And yes, some were insulted by it, but within that, there was also some clarity. So, nice to see that that was cleared up. Anyways, they celebrated, but despite their celebration, the equipment staff had been on from the late points of the game to wrap up everyone's stuff because they only had a couple hours to be in the bubble before having to exit. And again, this is all out of COVID concerns, so they were only given so much time before flying back home. Anyways, so everyone has since cleared the bubble. But a tremendous job done from the TSN and NHL Network crews, Gord Miller, Ray Ferraro, and everyone behind the scenes to pull off such an incredible tournament and make this such a joyous time. I've been fortunate to cover this tournament myself and get to know the players, get to know Coach Terhini, and I'm excited to see who is the head coach next year. As Andre Terhini signed a 1-year contract with Hockey Canada, so it will not likely be him returning to come back for another run. So that being said, let's take a look around the Ontario Hockey League now, as there was some news last week to get into, along with today's World Juniors compact review. So that to be said, if you give me just a moment to pull up my World Juniors notes, I think that this is something that has to be well highlighted. So, we're going to do just that. Again, the OHL, the fact that some of these players, given that the OHL is on indefinite standby, got to take part in this and actually play competitive hockey against some of the best players from across, the nation, across the world, I think was really remarkable in a time where we've been certainly in uncertain territory. So for that reason as well, this tournament became somewhat of a significant marker and something to pay attention to. So that being said, let's take a look now at some other Ontario Hockey League going-ons. I can tell you that Jamison Reese, just a couple days ago, who was with Canada's national team for selection camp, he ended up heading home, but he signed his entry-level contract with the Carolina Hurricanes. Meanwhile, on the other end, Zaid Wisdom has joined the Philadelphia Flyers for their camp ahead of the NHL season, which again begins on January the 13th. So that being said, there's really not a whole lot else going on between the World Juniors and the Ontario Hockey League. So I will read Sting's press release, or the Sting's press release on Jamison Reese. But really, other than that, there hasn't been exactly a whole lot to go on. I am going to try and book a Canadian player for next week, whether that be Cole Schwint, who I attempted for this week, or even Donovan Sabrengo to talk about his experience at selection camp from the Kitchener Rangers, who I also attempted for a roundtable this week. But maybe we might just go back to normal OHL coverage next week. So, at the very least, we'll see which route I choose to go on. That being said, Andre Terhini has taken to Twitter since. He said to everyone who watched, so much to say. First, I want to say I'm truly grateful to Hockey Canada for the opportunity and especially the unbelievable environment and culture we have been surrounded by in the last 53 days. Everything leading to and during the event was phenomenal. Andre Terhini, again, the head coach of the Ottawa 67s, certainly, taking hold for everything that he's been through. So, again, that's with his team, and this team has been a significant part of his life, and something that I think that, like the players, he will never forget. So that being said, Terhini went on to say, H.E.R, which is Tom Rennie, Scott Salmond, and Sammy, you were so fun to work for. Thanks for the trust and for the collaboration. Secondly, I want to thank our management group, Shetzi and Baxi. You're a very good pro. Thanks for the support. Baxi Lounge was first class again. My friend Millsy, was a pleasure. What a pleasure it was to work with you. You made it easy and very professional. No stone went unturned. Cannot tell you how much your support meant throughout the entire process. Our support staff, what a crew, cannot have asked for a better group. You brought energy, passion, and professionalism every day. Doc, tough job you had, and you handled the best way everyone could have dreamed of. Cheese and Kevy, both of you were a source of energy for us and big part of the culture we wanted to have. AD, thanks to monitor Thanks for monitoring those guys and keeping me on track. Hammy, no wonder why success follows you around. Can't ask for a more supportive and professional staff with an outstanding feel for the need message the team needed. You are a very good human being. To our coaches, best crew ever. Mitch Love, couldn't ask for anybody better to run those D. You make every day a fun one. You have a real good feel of the boys of what we needed. Diker, proactive, full of resources and ideas. Your commitment was unbelievable and contagious. So Torini continued a little bit longer. Then I'll get into the press release on Jamison Reese. Again, this is a coach who has just I wouldn't even say he's been through the ringer. He's enjoyed every second of the last 53 days from the 4-week selection camp. But then this, certainly something really special, just to kind of really take hold of after what's been probably something that, while we don't want to remember it for the loss, we are going to remember it for the rest of our lives, given the situation of COVID-19. Torini continued to say, Barbs, you are truly the best. Your pre-scouts were unreal. Your feel for your goalies and your player evaluation are off the chart, but the best is the fun we had with you. You make every day a fun day. Don't change a thing. The Flames are fortunate to have you. Dietz, phenomenal job on the pre-scout. You steered us in the right direction all the time. Plus, what an entertainer. There's no bad moment around you. Jimmy, you are unreal, organized, smooth, funny, professional. You make it easy for us every day. Dominic, thanks for giving me direction and to be comprehensive with our schedule. Saints, like always, professional, hardworking, and resourceful. My boy, and this one is Coach Chris Hamilton. You were like advertised, being fantastic. Thanks for your work ethic, passion, and commitment. Finally, you, the players. Thanks for your commitment and passion. You are truly role models for our nation. You are resilient and humble. You trusted the process, and you sacrificed so much for us. Thanks for making this for having made this year experience so fantastic. Really proud of you. Hashtag proud coach. So really proud moment for Andre Tollini. Again, like I said, it was a pleasure to get to know him over the course of selection camp and to watch him shape out this team over the course of this all. Something that, I feel privileged for getting to know him, and at the same time, I feel privileged for having the opportunity to cover such a successful and strong, ferocious squad who just never gave up. So again, kudos all around to Coach Lehman of Team USA and Teresa Fiestler, their video coach, the first female to take part and win a gold medal in a World Junior Championship. So much to commend upon. So for that, congratulations on that end, and congrats to everyone who is now moving onwards to the National Hockey League. That includes Tim Stutzla. I understand that some will be joining the Montreal Canadiens. That includes Caden Gooley, now headed from Edmonton to Montreal. Continue to wait updates on Jan Mysick. Meanwhile, at the same time, Cole Caulfield might return to Wisconsin, but at the same time might head to Canadiens camp first. Anyways, that being said, enough with Team Canada as we start to wrap up today's episode, because we've got a lot more to go through. It was a privilege, but at the same time, onwards to the next thing, and that's focusing on the return of the Ontario and Western Hockey Leagues. So, Don Waddle, the president and general manager of the National Hockey League's Carolina Hurricanes, today announced that the team has signed center Jamison Reese to a 3-year entry-level contract. And again, this was on December 30th. So let's continue onwards. He said in a statement, Jamison is a skilled center with strong playmaking ability. He made strides in his development last season, and we're looking forward to his next steps. Reese, 19 years old, tallied 61 points on 18 goals and 43 assists in 39 Ontario Hockey League games with the Sarnia Sting in 2019-20. The 5'10", 182-pound forward ranked tied for 4th in the OHL in shorthanded goals with 5 and 11th in points per game with 1.56 last season. Reese has registered 113 points on 33 goals and 80 assists in 122 career OHL games with Sarnia. The Hamilton, Ontario native represented Canada at the 2019 IIHF World Under-18 Championship, posting 8 points on 2 goals and 6 assists in 7 games and leading the team in assists. Reese was drafted by the Hurricanes in the second round, 44th overall in the 2019 NHL entry draft. For more information, you can visit nhl.com/Hurricanes. So that's what we're going to do, just because there's not really a whole lot else to touch on in the last 10 minutes of this episode. That being said, 12 OHL players did earn medals at the 2021 IIHF World Junior Championship. So I will read out those names and those appointments as we go along before getting into more information on Reese should there be anything else from the Canes. So gold medals from the Ontario Hockey League include Arthur Kaliev of the Hamilton Bulldogs and Hunter Skinner of the London Knights. Silver medals, there were 8 of them. Quinton Byfield, Sudbury Wolves, Jamie Drysdale, Erie Otters, Thomas Harley, Mississauga Steelheads, Connor McMichael, London Knights, Cole Perfetti, Saginaw Spirit, Jack Quinn, Ottawa 67s, Ryan Suzuki, Saginaw Spirit, Philip Tomasino, the Oshawa Generals. Now, I was on a preview show last night right here on the Barn Burner TV network and ZINGOTV channel 250 alongside Eduardo Harari, and he asked me about Philip Tomasino and his uprise at this tournament, and I spoke very highly of him because he's someone who Torini tested moving him around, and he never let up, and I think that was really impressive and certainly a sign of strength and resilience to be that asset wherever he was placed. So again, that episode can now be heard on SoundCloud and at Barn Burner's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, or just the Facebook and Twitter at Barn Burner Net. So that being said, alongside the 8 players who got the silver medals from the Ontario Hockey League, the coaches were Andre Turini from the Ottawa 67s, equipment manager Chris Hamilton, also Ottawa 67s, and security liaison Bob Martin from the London Knights. The bronze medals went to Kerry Peronin from the Windsor Spitfires and Ruben Rafkin from the Windsor Spitfires. Now, for any updated coverage that you may need or want, please visit hockeycanada.ca/World Juniors or the IIHF.com. So that being said, it looks like I'm going to be able to secure a player next week. I'm going to try and secure again Nicole Schwind, as I mentioned. But other than that, just keep your eyes out for upcoming OHL and World Juniors related content. I will still be doing interviews, or at least I will try, should the players be interested in doing so. I mean, look, this is a time when a lot of them might not want to talk, but understandably so. We will see what that looks like. But certainly something to keep your eyes peeled for as we start to round out today's episode and get back from World Juniors into the normal OHL routine. So anyways, that to be said, there's about 5 minutes left on today's episode, and so I'm going to go into the rest of the press release from the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, at the NHL level, the deal that Reese has signed with will pay him $7 million in 2021, $750 in 2021-22, and $8,000 or $8 million, I should say, in 2022-23. The deal will pay him $70,000 at the American Hockey League level for all 3 seasons, and he will receive a signing bonus of $277,500. So anyways, that to be said, for those of you again who perhaps missed out the first time, Reese is a native of Hamilton, Ontario, and he represented Canada at the 2019 IIHF World Under-18 Championship, posting 8 points on 2 goals and 6 assists in 7 games, and led the team in assists. Now, in addition to having been drafted 44th overall in the second round, he also took part again in Canada's selection camp this year for a run at the World Junior Championship, but was sent home among a group of about 5 or 6 players, which got the roster down in the end to 25 before the team headed out from Red Deer to Edmonton for the tournament. So that's really about it at this point. I'm expecting to see, a lot more news on the OHL in the days to come. I heard a little bit of a rumor bug last night about what this season may look like, as they're not fully closing the door. So I'm not going to say anything just yet, but especially because I've still got to do some checking with my sources. So just keep your eyes peeled, and at this point we'll go from there. This has been a really great opportunity to cover a tournament so in depth, both right here on Barn Burner and through the puckauthority.com. Credit to Hockey Canada for credentialing. All your exclusive coverage for the next couple days will be at really anywhere that you can go. There is more analysis from Mark Spector. So, Mark Spector, sportsnet.ca, thepuckauthority.com, hockeycanada.ca, right here on OntarioHockeyLeague.com, thehockeynews.com. There's so many places where in-depth stories will continue to be told after a tournament that has been unforgettable and will be unforgettable. So, and it will be for many, many years to come, just given the unique, the unique way in which this was played. So, final quotes from the tournament again. Andre Tourigny, he said they were role models all the way through, expressing how proud he was of his team after 52 days in the World Juniors bubble. So, other than that, a lot of congratulatory tweets from OHL teams respectively, such as the Sudbury Wolves, who said, "Congratulations, Quinton Byfield and Team Canada on winning the silver medal. #World Juniors. Silver for Hockey Canada. Always proud of Jack, Coach, and Hammy. #World Juniors." And that's from the Ottawa 67s. And then from the Saginaw Spirit, congrats to Cole Perfetti and Ryan Suzuki on their silver medal at the 2021 World Junior Championship. #World Juniors. #Soar with us. That from the Saginaw Spirit. So again, it wasn't the result they wanted, but it was the result that it was a result that they got. And we're just gonna have to stick with routine here, and just keep going along, because next year Team Canada will be back at it. Yes, it'll look very different, as I've heard only about 4 players on this roster will be eligible to return next year, so it will be different. There will be a different head coach, so there's certainly a lot to keep in mind as a result of moving forward for next year's round tournament. So anyways, you can find me for continuous updates on the World Juniors for the next couple days by way of fact checking and hopefully some interviews at Justin Levine HBS on Twitter. And then again, starting next week, right here at Barn Burner Net, once the players have returned home and those who are potentially available. Again, that in the OHL, for OHL players, they will be. Meanwhile, some are headed to NHL camps, so they won't be. Then others are headed overseas and elsewhere until there's a more sustainable idea as to what happens, with these 2 leagues. Again, the Western Hockey League, I've yet to hear anything, but the OHL, again, we might have something coming in just a couple of weeks' time. So keep your tabs to the OntarioHockeyLeague.com. And once I have more information and can say something, I shall bring that right here to the OHL experience. And we shall, at that point, start to preview and get prepared for the upcoming season. So, again, my name is Justin Levine. It's been a privilege to provide coverage both digitally and written throughout this tournament to all my viewers right here at the OHL Experience, who watch every Wednesday afternoon from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But back to the routine, back to hockey, and back to something that is a little more familiar to us. I think that we're still going to hear of players talking about this for a little while longer, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it is reflecting upon the success they had, and the good, the bad, and by way of losing, as rough as it may sound, the ugly. But again, kudos to everyone who pulled off such an incredible tournament, including the IIHF staff. Renee Fassel did not show up at the tournament, but 2 of his staffers did. And then again, the Hockey Canada staff for making sure that this bubble was more secure than what the NHL had already done, and therefore no positive tests after the first little bit. Which kind of followed in selection camp through to the start of the tournament itself for especially teams Germany and Team Sweden. So again, this is a lifetime of memories ahead for those players who will now, many of them who will not hit the NHL stage, but for those who do, it's going to be unforgettable. And on to the next. So that being said, again, my name is Justin Levine, on Twitter at Justin Levine HBS. Make sure you are following for continuous World Juniors coverage and all your CHL, OHL, WHL, QMJHL coverage for the upcoming draft at thepuckauthority.com and at puckauthority1 on Twitter. And you can follow us for unique comprehensive coverage on our Instagram at the Puck Authority as well. My name is Justin Levine from the OHL Experience, signing off.